So today I'm going to be talking about a whole load of phrases I found when reading and listening in Italian, French and Spanish. I'll put timestamps in the description for this one. But first, as we're starting with Italian, there's some news about Italian and Google Translate. It now contains some of the dialects, or as some people will call them, languages, regional languages, that exist in Italy. It includes Sicilian, Lombard, Friulian, Ligurian and Venetian. So this means if you're going to any of those regions on holiday and you see something that you don't understand because it's not in so-called standard Italian, you might be able to look it up and find it on Google Translate. Likewise, in a novel, you might see some conversation that is written in a dialect, and this might give you the opportunity to find out exactly what it means. Okay, let's move on to the phrases. And the first one is a doppiatore. It's probably not easy to guess if you're not seeing it in context, but this is a word for a voice actor. Doppiatrice also exists for a female voice actor. But not just that, it covers someone dubbing a voice, which is still voice acting, obviously, but I'm guessing this is where the doppia comes from in the term. You're doubling the voice, and the voice is feminine, so it's doppia rather than doppio. The next one doesn't sound very Italian. Autovelox. I think it might be one of those terms that comes from a brand name. Anyway, an autovelox is a speed camera, something you definitely need to look out for if you're driving in Italy. Mezzo chilo di pane. So when I came across this, I thought, sorry, you buy bread by weight, and I'm still saying it. You buy bread by weight, that's just weird. Is half a kilo a full loaf, half a loaf, a few slices? Who knows? But remember, if you go to Italy, you can probably buy your bread by weight, which I suppose could be better if you're trying to lose some of your own weight. Apnea is a word that I keep on hearing in Italian songs. In English, I'd say most of us only use that word in relation to sleep apnea, but it seems to be a short way to talk about simply being breathless in Italian songs, usually in a relationship context. But it does have another meaning, also in English, and that's freediving. Although I can't find an alternative expression for freediving in Italian. So it might mean that in the songs too, but probably in a figurative way. Now, let's move on to French. Il connaissait le terrain comme leur poche. They knew the terrain like their pocket. Yes, this is a French alternative for our knowing something like the back of your hand. Do I know my pocket as well as my hand? Probably not, because I have a lot of different pockets and only two hands. Travailler d'arrache-pied. What could this possibly mean? Well, basically to work hard or tirelessly, but working like a dog or a horse come to mind as English expressions. À plein régime. At full something? Yes, this is at full speed, throttle, capacity, blast. Full speed ahead. And finally, vert de rage. A green with rage? Well, I did try putting this into reverso context with the T on for vert, and it came up with the same options, so I'm assuming this is an abbreviation of vert. So the French are green with rage, where we tend to be purple. Interesting. Spanish. La yema de los dedos. Something to do with fingers? Yes, la yema is a yolk, as in an egg, or a bud, as in a flower. So what is the bud of your fingers? The fingertips. However, it looks like you can also say punta de los dedos, which is also quite common. So what's a rompecabezas? Romper, to break. Cabezas, heads. What breaks your head in a non-literal way? A rompecabezas is a puzzle, a jigsaw, or probably the closest in English, a brain teaser.